Healthy eating right now at this point in anyone's life is incredibly important, and this is one of those recipes. I grew up eating Tabouli salad, and I want you guys to know most of the Tabouli salads you have had are not actually Tabouli salad. There's a huge emphasis on the Bulgar wheat, which realistically, Tabouli salad should be a parsley salad. You need a ton of parsley. And in this case, the Bulgar wheat is just kind of there to kind of bulk it up just a little bit. Remember how I said Bulgar wheat isn't actually a staple in Tabouli salad? I also said that because there's no Bulgar wheat anywhere around here, so we're using quinoa. Do whatever you want to do. Put some rice in it. I don't care. To get things started, give this a really good rinse. For every cup of quinoa, you're going to need 2 cups of water. So I have 2 cups of quinoa, 4 cups of water. We're going to take this, cook it on the stove for about 10 minutes to a simmer, and then let it just hang out. You do want to hit it with a pinch of salt. Once your quinoa comes up to that hard simmer, bring it back down just a little bit, and we're going to cook this for 10 to 12 minutes. After those 10 to 12 minutes, your liquid should be fully evaporated, and at this point, we're actually going to go throw a lid on this. This step is super important because it'll actually allow it to steam just a little bit and get it super fluffy. You want to leave it in this state for another 10 to 12 minutes. And then once it's done resting, you have this fluffy, beautiful quinoa that you're going to want to rest and throw onto a lined sheet tray just so it'll cool down. This is super important so you don't put hot quinoa on your cold salad. Tabouli salad, again, is relatively straightforward. We're going to use a couple of things for this, and you can mix and match, but you're really going to need some tomatoes, cucumbers, onions of your choice. I do have some leftover greens, so we're using that. A little bit of lemon juice. Now, the overall goal for this mise en place is to have everything relatively the same size. So for the green onions, we're going to get them into a nice slice, and also make sure you slice the end of the stalk. They have a lot of flavor. You can substitute red onions or shallots or really whatever onion you want, or leave them out entirely. Now for the cucumber, I prefer the hothouse or English style cucumbers because they are a little more firm and a little more robust without having as much liquid in the seeds. For these, we're going to slice these into about 1/4 inch slices just to have a nice thickness to them, and then slice them into essentially matchstick sizes, maybe just a little bit bigger. And from there, we're going to go ahead and dice this up as well. Take your time with this because you do want a nice mouthfeel with this salad, so having all of your vegetables the same size is super important. Practice this enough times and you'll make this in no time. Unfortunately, I couldn't find Roma tomatoes, which would have been my tomato of choice, but these hothouse tomatoes that you can juggle should do just as well. I strongly recommend you don't do this. Now, the easiest way to prepare the tomatoes is to cut them in half and then quarter them, so that way you can remove the stem without really hurting the tomato too much. Go ahead and do this to all your tomatoes to prep these out. So with the skin side down on the tomato, you're going to be able to remove the flesh and save the flesh in the inside of the tomato. This actually works out really well for using for sauces or stocks later. Now for the actual tomato flesh that we're going to be using, you want to slice this in a similar way you sliced your cucumbers, nice little matchstick sizes, and then from there we're going to go ahead and dice all of this up so that way it is the same size as the cucumber. You see there's kind of a theme we're going here with the actual mise en place of this salad. You do want everything the same size. I can't emphasize that enough, mostly because when you go take a big spoonful of it, you don't want to have one thing overpower the other. Now for the parsley, this is Italian parsley. You can use any parsley you like. I actually really like curly parsley for something like this, but just make sure it's washed really well and dried really well and then chopped really well. This stuff should be chopped up quite a bit so that way it folds itself nicely into all of your other ingredients. So since I actually don't have a lot of parsley because I accidentally bought kale, I'm going to show you guys what it should look like with the small amount of parsley that I have for the ratios, and then we're gonna use the kale. So now with your actual ratio for your salad, you want to do equal parts of your parsley with your other filling except for your quinoa. The quinoa actually shouldn't be a significant portion of this salad. I'm only using about 1/4 cup worth of quinoa versus 1 cup of parsley and 1 cup of my other filler. But clearly this bowl is just far too small, so let's get it into another bowl to try to mix this up properly so we don't have bits of parsley. You should see that everything is nicely incorporated. It looks like it's mostly parsley, which is what you're looking for. Hit this with a little bit of fresh lemon juice, lime juice, whatever acid you want, a little bit of fresh, nice olive oil, a lot of black pepper is how I like to make this, and make sure you hit it with a pinch of salt. Give this another good toss just so everything is fully incorporated, and let's get this bad boy on a plate. If I'm sending serving this to someone, I do like to put it on a white plate so all of those greens and yellows and the vibrance of the vegetables really come through. Garnish this with just a bit more olive oil, and we are done with our beautiful Tabouli salad. This is probably one of the easier, more refreshing salads you could probably make, and it has a ton of nutrients behind it. Good fiber, good carbohydrates, you have the delicious acidity from the lemon juice, the nice fats from the olive oil. You can't go wrong with something like this, especially considering that you can pair it with almost anything. When you eat food like this, it just makes you feel good. If you want to also make you feel good, buying my books. What's your favorite salads? Honestly, I love anything that's kind of a chopped salad, so that way I can just eat it faster. I do like salads though. My name is Chef PK. I hope I taught you something today. Get subscribed, and remember, keep playing with your food. Because now I got like 4 bunches of kale that I have to eat.
When I speak, all cap with the speech till they caught up in the rapture. I'm so out of line with the phrase game. Let's take a break, been a long day.